funky and sweaty. And is that
Well,
natural?
We're live right now. I just went live right now, so this is going to be a completely natural conversation. So the garage just opened. Y'all just missed it. Garage just opened. Anna just pulled up, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," because she thought I was already live. But I told her, "Oh, it's okay. I want you to be part of this one." And I said, "We're just keeping it all natural tonight. We're just gonna have a little intimate conversation." She's like, "I'm not natural. What did you say?"
I'm a hot mess.
I'm a hot mess. Come show us how hot mess you are. You're gonna hear the garage for a second. There she goes. There she goes. So she's been helping her son move all day. Looks like she came back with some stuff. We didn't need anything here. So what's up, folks? What's happening? Got 3 of y'all on here. Say hi. Who is it? Who's here? Let me see who's here. Oh. So she's been helping her. That wasn't supposed to happen. Gina, what's going on? All right, so this conversation here is going to be just kind of a little chat, just hanging out. I'm not going to be real structured. There's going to be some, the last 4 weeks we've been talking about intentional discomfort. Yo, Gina, what's up? How you doing, Miss Jones? Can y'all hear me? Give me a thumbs up or something if you can hear me, because I have my volume turned down so I can't hear myself. Jennifer, what's happening? I need to know. Can y'all hear me? I think we have a little delay here. I'm going to check the sound real quick before I go any further. Make sure we don't miss anything. All right, y'all. I'm about to get started in just a second. Just let me know if you can hear me. Let me see. All right, I got a thumbs up, so you must be able to hear me. Okay, so look, let's chat real quick. The last 4 weeks we've been talking about intentional discomforts. And so the question I have for you is it possible that intentional discomfort really is the way? So to help bring some light to that, I want you to just think about something real quick. I say yes, it is the way. It's the way to achieve everything you want. There's going to be a level of discomfort and struggle you have to go through. All you have to do is look at the areas where you've held back the most, and you can align that with the desires that you have. So if you want more in a certain area, you can probably link yourself holding yourself back somehow, or some kind of comfort zone that you're in. Right? The two things they're polar opposites of each other. So I want you to really just ask yourself, try to remove all the emotion and just be as logical as possible. What if you just got uncomfortable and went all in with the thing that you want to do? With the relationship you want to have, with the body you want to have, with the routines you want to have. What if you just got uncomfortable and went all in? Because that's what it's going to take. Whether you decide to do it now or later, it's still going to take the same thing. You're going to have to get uncomfortable. You're going to have to change what you're doing. You're going to have to change your processes. That will never go away. So the only question is, when are you going to do it? Right? And I know a lot of y'all listening to this have made some steps. I've gotten some messages from y'all, actually some phone calls, and had some personal conversations. I know you're out there doing some things, but there's more. We all want more, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of people that make you believe, oh, you should just settle down and be content with what you have. That's not the human nature. Okay, so wanting more is not a problem. Now, understanding what you want and why, that makes a difference, so that you can actually take meaningful action on only the things that matter the most to you. But what's not something that is fulfilling to you is holding yourself into a comfort zone. So we've been talking about that the last 4 weeks. And The next season I'm really excited about because we're going to move into a season called Rise Above. Rise Above. There's no doubt, if you're anything like me, at some point in your life you've had some connections that have you feeling like you're anchored to your past. Some shame and some guilt going on about past things that you did, or anxieties about the future, or the way you were raised, or whatever it is that you might be going through. There's something that you need to rise above in your life. And so what I'm going to do next month is I'm going to share some, and actually, so May starts tomorrow, but in the next episode, I'm going to share with you some intimate stories of how I've had to rise above some things in my life that you can probably relate to. And I'm going to talk about some of them right now. I won't go into details because I want to save the stories and the frameworks and the processes for, the Rise Above season. But here's some things that I've had to overcome, right? Social anxiety. A lot of people would never know it now, but I've had a fear in my life in the past of being around people, how to act around people, how to have conversations around people. This social anxiety, it felt crippling at a certain point in my life. Shame and guilt about some activities in my past. If you've heard some of my stories in the past, that, I was involved with some gang activity and, put myself in situations where, ended up in jail a couple of times and had to rise above these things. A lot of people who meet me now would never know that, but it's a valuable part of why I am the man I am today. Going through divorce, right? After being married for almost 14 years and, having 2 kids at the time and trying to navigate was I being a good dad, a bad dad? Is it going to mess up everything that, I've tried to build with the relationships with my girls? And so going through that and actually having it put me in 6 months of a deep depression, having to rise above that. My addictive personality, that hasn't gone away. Still have that. In the past, there's been addictions to food, drugs, alcohol. Now the things that challenge me with my addictive personality are work and dealing with laziness. So 2 polar opposites, right? So how can you be addicted to work and laziness? Well, it happens. Right? Sometimes I work so much, or I try to create so much or do so much, and then I just go into a point where I need to get rest, and then I rest too much, right? How have I developed frameworks to be able to be really consistent and steady in my life at this point, doing more than ever, but still keeping overwhelm away? There's processes and mental frameworks and ways to work through this, and that's what's going to be taught in the Rise Above season that's coming up. Dealing with being overweight as an adult, right? As a trainer, when I first started, I was overweight because I was working so much at a day job, or it was actually an overnight job, getting off during the day, training people. So to get through all that, I was like eating McDonald's fish sandwiches. And again, I won't give you all the stories right now, but got overweight as an adult and that was my first time really having to deal with what it's like for somebody to have to lose weight. Like the mental part of that. It's powerful. So going from all those things to, having a thriving relationship right now that is something that I want to share more of, because the relationship I have with my queen right now is something that's so special, the way we operate together, that I believe there's a lot that we can teach based on what we do, what our experience is in our relationship. Not how relationships should be, just what works for us. I feel like it's valuable. Competing in competitions, having a great, completely open relationship with our kids, the way things we communicate about and, how we work through challenges together. Training thousands of clients over the last 15, 16 years. After having social anxiety, but then having to stand up in front of people every day and give direction and make sure that, they get what they came for. Those 2 things are very different. Well, how do you overcome those things? How do you rise above that? And to doing live videos like this. This is another thing where I'm not going to lie to you. Every time right before I hit live, there's this part of me that wants to go back to dealing with that social anxiety. But again, having the mental mind frames and the processes to get through that stuff is something that I think is a valuable skill set, and I want to teach that, which is why I came up with this Rise Above statement a long time ago and decided to put it on a shirt, because I wear this when I need it, right? When I need to feel, when I want to rise above something in my day, or maybe I'm having a challenging morning. This is what I pull out and I wear it. It means something to me. And I think after we get into next month's season, the statement Rise Above will mean something completely different to you. So I'll be sharing a lot of personal stories. Let me see. I'm trying to see if anybody's throwing any comments out here. Yeah, Dana, you knew me then. Been there, done that. I hear you, Gina. So look, this is the real reason I wanted to jump on tonight, was just to make sure that you were able to watch the past 4 episodes of Intentional Discomfort. I feel like it was one of the most powerful seasons, and if you haven't been able to watch those 4 videos, take the time. You might not be able to watch them tonight, that's fine. But let me encourage you, take the time to go back and watch each one. They're anywhere from like 7 minutes to 15 minutes each. And I do my best to teach one lesson and give you actions to take after every lesson, which is the most important part. Like, I don't want to just be somebody else on the internet who's, just spewing information out that just bogs people's brain down even more. I'm putting time into making sure that if you're following me, that I give you things that you can take action on that will actually work for you, right? And that you can start to kind of build your own story based on things that actually work for you. But you have to do something with them. You can't just go say, hey, I watched another live video, it was cool. If that's what's happening, then I need to change something that's going on here, because that's not what I want you to do. So go back and watch those episodes. Go back and do the exercises. Leave me a comment on the videos when you watch them, and I'll go back and I'll interact with you, and I'll help you through anything you need help with. If you have questions, DM me. This is what I do. So if you have questions or suggestions, or you need insight on something, then remember, I'm not your expert or your guru, but I do have experience that, outside of your chaos might be valuable, just like my coaches and mentors do for me. I'm able to voice the things that are going on with me, and then I can get feedback from somebody who's not in the middle of my emotional situation, right? That's part of the key right there. So not only go back and watch those videos, but make sure you tune in starting next Tuesday for the Rise Above season. I shoot these live for you every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I do my best to make them as short as possible, as short as they can be, and still get you all the information you need. Okay? So if you want to hear about my social anxiety, if you want to hear about my shame and guilt that I carried about my past, if you want to hear about the 6 months of depression that I went through after having a divorce after 13 years of marriage, if you want to hear about the addictive personality that over time, in my life had me addicted to food, drugs, alcohol, work, laziness, all these things at one point in my life. If you want to hear about, the challenges of me being overweight as an adult and then having to mentally work through that, and then hear how I overcome those things and the processes I go through every day to make sure I'm grounded in power, and that I don't fall back into self-sabotaging behaviors and cycles, because if I don't pay attention, my human will do that. It'll take me right back. Even though I feel like I'm pretty far removed from a lot of the things that held me back, the human will go right back if you don't continue the practice daily. You have to do it daily. And the days that I don't practice diligently, I can feel that I'm off. And I know you can too, right? So if you want to learn about how to overcome these things and rise above, next season is going to be for you. So I just wanted to shoot this little bonus episode that tie these seasons together. And if you have any questions, you can send those over to me, DM me, or just comment on this video. Other than that, I hope you have a great night, and I want you to get ready to rise above together. Peace, y'all.